Okay. Just transition over. I think we're good. Okay. We have started. Snuck up on me a little bit. Let me see if I can get some actual in-game audio. And then I can explain what's going on here. Since we have 2 hours, I figured just explain while it was already going. Where's... oh. Okay. Okay. So this is Myscorey. This is a regular event in which players will compete for the highest score over a 2-hour period with a live leaderboard. So far, you see everyone's at 0. No one has submitted any scores. But as they submit scores, that'll update live, and we'll get to see their progress. This game, called Tall Infinity, and it is a lot of fun. If you notice on the leaderboard page is where the directions are. I'll post that in the chat. But yeah, let me see. I meant to have a commentator here. They're not here yet. I may just ping for another commentator. So, we see Adam has already fallen. Maurice is in danger of falling. It's gonna take a little bit to get good at this game. This is a difficult game, but it's a whole lot of fun. Okay, so we've already got some submissions. They're all pretty low. I'm not gonna bother with swapping stuff out quite yet. But we do have some submissions. I don't think any of those are past level 1. My high score, for reference, is around 68,000. So I think we'll see them climb higher than the triple digits. I think what I'm gonna do is have cutoff times where that's when I swap the streams out based on who's in the top 3 places. Maybe every 15 minutes. I think that would be a good idea. So, the way this game works is that you can match blocks. You see there's colors on the side. Somebody likened it to Color Jumper. It is a lot like Color Jumper. I didn't really think about that. This game is called Tall Infinity. So, the way the game works is that you are a little man, or you can actually unlock other characters. They don't control any differently, but you can unlock them. And you roll. The only way you can manipulate these blocks is by rolling them under your feet. Matches won't happen if you're still holding the rolling button. So you have to make sure to let go of that roll button when you match up colors. They also won't happen if they just kind of like run into each other. You have to roll the box onto it. Oh, is the title still Giant Tupa? Let's see. I think I can change that. Nice. I can do that much. So anyways, main goal of the game, there are 8 levels in the game, and you can see on the left that the tower is crumbling. You have to build up rows, or else the tower is going to crumble underneath you. Which is not really how things crumble, but we'll suspend our disbelief for this game. So, if you see the red on the left, on that is where the tower has crumbled to, and the blue is where you're up to now, how many full rows you've done. The way to get rows the fastest and higher score, so really it's just best for everybody, is if you can make chains, make combos. And in this game it's really simple, you just do that by making matches really quickly. The combo timer's pretty short though, so you gotta be careful about how many combos you can make. My record chain is 10. I had a 10 chain one time, I was very happy with it. When you start getting a lot of chains, you get a huge bonus. So what I'm seeing from the players right now is they're not really going to be super successful unless they match significantly faster than they are right now. And I'm seeing players also not necessarily seeing matches. You don't always want to be moving the same block to try and do chains. You can move to different blocks real quick and just get the matches where they are. But the biggest potential for losing here is gonna be, like, or for making mistakes, is gonna be holding the roll button, which is what you use to roll a piece, down when you're trying to make a match. Because if you hold it down and roll past a match, a lot of times you can't make it back very effectively. See, like there, Maurice had a 2 chain he could have done. Well, he ended up making a 3 chain, which is good, but there was perhaps a better way to do it. Yeah, the game is less about being smart and more about being experienced. Over time, you start to really build up a sense of how many rolls away you are from any given spot. But they are smart. I've played this game a whole lot. This is why I thought this would be a fun one to start with, because experience goes a really long way in this game. Nice, a chain 5, that's going to be massive. Maurice is basically going to move on to the next level. There are 8 levels, but their goal here is just to get the highest score. Like I said, my max score, I think, is somewhere around 68,000. No, it might be a little higher than that. I've beaten this game once. I don't beat it consistently, even though I've played this for hours. I just think it's a lot of fun. It's a difficult game. This is only normal mode. There is a hard mode. Yeah, you finish the level by getting to the top of that, thing on the left. You get to the top of the bar on the left. So those blue rows are how many rows you are up, and then when you get to the top, that's the end of the level. The reason that levels are good to complete is because you get massive bonuses at the end of the level. You get a time bonus, you get another type of bonus, I forget now, and you get a step bonus. So if you notice in the bottom left, it says 290 out of 300. If Maurice, which he won't this time, if he was able to finish this level under that number of steps, he would get a bonus. It's not really something to focus on, even I feel like when you're going for score attack. That's kind of difficult to manage. You just, at this level, they just started playing this game. They need to just do their best to survive. Yeah, so the longer you take, I think the faster the tower crumbles, and Maurice is gonna unfortunately... Oh no! He just finished stage 1 clear. Nice. So yeah, he got no time bonus and no step bonus. So you can get those bonuses if you go quicker and use fewer steps. A time bonus is one I think we'll see players getting, at the very least on level 1. But yeah, the tower crumbles once on any stage, you're done. You have to start over from the beginning. So Maurice there could have matched on green, he rolled right past it, and you'll see that happen a lot, and you think, well, why is it not matching? And I mentioned it earlier, but you have to let go of that button, or else you're not going to be able to do any matches. So you get in the habit of sort of like always letting go of the button if you're on a block that's falling, because it could match at the bottom and you maybe didn't notice, or... One thing to mention is that horizontal matches are just sort of inherently better, because they match both columns. Like, when you make a match, it grows 2 blocks under where you matched, but if you do it horizontally, it'll grow 2 blocks under both of those. So, it's a pretty big bonus. I think now we're gonna see some higher scores as people, lose here and submit their score. It's in the rules of this event that when you get a score finalized, you have to submit it to the leaderboard. And that's just so players can't, like, hoard scores, and it makes watching it more interesting, because we see people's progress over time. And then as a little treat, I don't know what it'll look like at this point. It might not look that exciting, but if I bring this up, yeah. So we can actually see the progress of everyone over time. Oh, I have to refresh this page. To get the time fixed. There we go. So we'll see over time everybody's progress. Right now everyone's just kind of on top of each other and there isn't a whole lot of variance, but as we go through I'll show that chart and we'll see what kind of stuff we can see. Yeah, I'm not going to keep the chart up the whole time. That's just for us to look at every once in a while. This is a 2-hour thing. We're not going to want to be constantly looking at the chart. So yeah, I'm gonna say at 15 minutes, I'm gonna swap out to get the top 3 people on stream here. Can I swap to the chart permanently? Yeah, I absolutely could. I'm gonna choose not to do that. But Jaw makes an excellent point. Well, he's about to submit his score. But yeah, at some point, I'll get a commentator in here to ask more pointed questions, because I know everything about this game. It's difficult to know what to answer. But we're already seeing, compared to their first scores, massively higher scores, which is cool. I think the biggest difference over the start and like what we're gonna see near the end Who's the cutest character? There's a little worm. So, Jal, I think that would easily be your favorite character. But it makes a really annoying squeaky sound when they move around, and I'm not a fan. But if you get far enough, do you mean like at the time? They can't keep playing past 2 hours, but they can submit the highest score that they currently have. Like if they just like haven't lost yet, and they have a high score on screen, they can submit that. But you can't finish your current attempt, because 2 hours is plenty of time. That was my justification for that rule. Oh, the blocks with arrows on it. I haven't mentioned those. Those are blocks that you can only roll in the direction that they indicate. It's random which ones come up, but there's enough going on the tower at any given time that you're never really locked in, unless you're really, really unlucky. Most of the time, you have a lot of choices. It's just about recognizing those choices is the difficult thing. I can tell you my favorite song is BGM 5. So hopefully somebody does that. You can just choose the song that plays before when you choose characters and stuff. Okay, so let's swap out to our top people. We have mostly... I'm going to take Roar off and put Zenik up here. And if everyone did my left align, then I won't even have to recrop it. Oh, but we will have to watch an ad. I guess I didn't think about that. Whatever. We can just watch an ad. Watch an ad for Excedrin. Oh, it didn't work. I do have to recrop it. It's close. Yeah, everyone knows that gamers love Excedrin. Zenik is finishing stage 1, which is good. Yeah, so if the tower catches up to you, basically if you look at the chart on the left, a blue circle only fills in when that whole row has blocks. So the tower will catch up to you when it catches up to a blue circle, which is, yeah, it has to do with the lowest block you have. So you're incentivized to keep it somewhat even. The thing about... The gaps fill in when you make chains, because that's the kind of bonus of making chains, is that you get bonus rows that fill in depending on how big the chain is. But, yeah. Essentially, it has to do with the lowest block. So, right now, the players need to be making more chains. Really, more chains would get them through. That would get them all the way. If they just focused mostly on chains, and as soon as they made a match, looked to where they could make a chain, instead of, like, looking maybe where to bring the tower down or where other places would work, they could probably get to level 3 that way pretty easily. Level 3 and 4 is where it starts to get difficult. So Maurice has a 2 chain there. 3 chain, 4. Yeah, this is good. Has a 5 there, but didn't take it. Took the 5 somewhere else. That's not where I was talking about. That works though. 6 chain is high. That's gonna nearly... If you look on the left, it's gonna grow a lot of blocks, yeah. He didn't get as many blues filled in because it was so uneven. So I guess that's one benefit to having it more even, that chains are like more valuable. Zenik has a great score going now. This is higher than anyone on the leaderboard currently. Oh, yep. So there's an example. And then he just did it again. Oh, he just had it matching again. so this is what happens. If you hold the button down, you start to... You miss all these matches. You have to let go of the button to make the match happen. So you really have to be purposeful about where you want your things to match up. You can't just really, like, randomly move squares around and end up having a good run. Zenik's on 2. Level 1 and 2 backgrounds don't look that different, but Zenik has birds. Eventually you get into space. And the music starts picking up like that when you're in danger. Oh, Mooware with a strong score on the board. I'm expecting we can get... I think we can get into 20,000 or so by the end of this. I don't think anyone will beat my score within 2 hours, because I played this game actually, like, a lot. I mean, maybe someone's will. I might not be that good, but I put a lot of time in to get to the score that I currently have. Did he set music to none? Oh, he picked a different one. This... I don't think this is 5. If it is, then I was wrong about my favorite one. I think 5 is my favorite. It has like an Arabian sound. It sounds cooler than most of the other ones. Oh, he set it to random? Yeah. Random is a good choice, because then you get to hear all the songs, but I only really like one of them. Which is... The other ones are okay. This is kind of a fun... This is a really... I mean, I really enjoy this game. This is a fun hidden gem of a game. But just because it's a hidden gem doesn't mean everything about it has to be good. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of the music. But... It also has a puzzle mode, which I believe has been submitted to Mystery Tournament before. Similar to like Devil Dice or Puzzle League, where it's an action puzzle game, but there's a mode where you have to clear all the blocks within a certain number of moves. Although it's a little different in this because of the way the game works, but there is a puzzle mode. I would personally never be able to submit that to MT because I don't feel that in an MT pace bin I could adequately explain the mechanics of this game. I feel like it would just have to be too long-winded. Maybe if I did it old school style where I just... Yeah, so if Maurice had dropped that to the right, would have had a pretty big combo. You can also match 2 or 3 at once. If you just happen to drop a square and it matches on more than one side at once, then you just, like, grow a ton of blocks. It is possible. The racers are also in a race chat. I'm scared to click into it because I don't know how upset they are, but Zenek is killing it here. It looks like at 30 minutes, Adam's probably gonna get pushed off of the stream though, unless they can really make some headway. Combos in this game just feel really satisfying, though. Oh, there it was. So Maurice did that, if you were watching Maurice's stream, where you set yourself up and then roll too many times and don't let go of the button, and then you're just set up for nothing anymore. Yeah. It's hard watching this game because... Well, it's hard for me. Because I'm, like, seeing, oh, I would go for this next and go there next, and they often don't do that. And it's not even necessarily like my ideas are the best, but you have a way that you play the game. So what Zenek was doing there, if anyone was watching Zenek's streamer, you can watch them. So when you roll a block up onto a tower, or up onto another block, and then make it fall back down, and then roll it up again, it'll be rotated 90 degrees. So you can do that to manipulate the way blocks are facing. But it's slow. And when you first starting the game, you get tunnel vision, and you're like, okay, there's a match, I gotta make that match. But really what you want to do is not so much focus on that and not spend too much time. Yeah, if you look at the pace bin, I did mention that flat floors are possible, but I mean, they're pretty unlikely. I've done it a couple times. You get what's called a ring bonus, and then a few more blocks grow. I don't know if it's worth it, score-wise. But yeah, if the game does have a have a fail-safe, because if it was flat, then you wouldn't be able to do anything, and you would automatically lose if the game just continued on normal. What they may not realize is that if there's two... So blocks don't match automatically. You have to roll one onto another one. But if they just happen to come up matching, you can roll the block back like one way and then back onto it, and it will match. I'm gonna tell him that in the chat. We're almost at 30 minutes here. Oh, Rickery coming up out of nowhere. They were way low on the leaderboard.
Okay, so what's the premise of this game?
Oh, hello. You made it.
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
I did. Sorry, I forgot this was today.
Oh, that's okay. A lot of people did. It happened fast. I only announced it a week ago. That's the problem. Hold on. I will tell you once I switch out. I'm doing every 15 minutes. I'm putting the top 3 on stream.
Oh, okay.
So, just so I'm not doing it constantly.
Makes sense.
My high score is like around 70,000.
Wow.
But I mean, I play this
in their scores.
They've only played this for half an hour, so.
How much have you played this?
A lot. I picked a game that I really liked to start with. Oh shoot! I got Rickery's stream wrong. It's like Rickery.
It's like
underscore GD or something.
Yeah.
But it's not that. Maybe it's Rickery GD underscore. No. I'm gonna figure it out.
So how the heck does this game work?
Oh, am I sharing? Here, let me share first of all so you get a live feed here.
Okay, I haven't had that page pulled up. But
sharing that. World record is 175,000. Yeah, well, because there's, like I said, there's only 8 levels. So it is gonna cap off. The game ends if you make it far enough. So at that point, it's about being efficient. So, the premise of the game is that you are matching. Why can't I find Rickery's stream? You're matching up the colors. Someone likened it to Color Jumper. It is a little bit like Color Jumper.
yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Rickery should be Rickery underscore GD. Maybe they're just not streaming. No, they're streaming.
Oh, you know what I did? I kept Adam's numbers because it looked like just a random part of the URL. And so that was my problem. Okay.
All right.
That's what, when you have Adam numbers, you got to pay attention to Adam's numbers. Okay. So, yeah, your goal is to match blocks.
Yeah, I can see that.
And when you match a block, if you match vertically, you grow 2 more blocks under that block. If you match horizontally, you grow 2 blocks under both columns. So, matching horizontally is, I guess, inherently better, but I mean, you just want to make matches. Because what's happening is the tower is crumbling.
Oh, okay.
So, if you look on the left, you can see the red circles and the blue circles. The red circles is where it's crumbled to. The blue circles is where you're at.
Okay,
and if you make it to the top of that, you move on to the next level. So, you gotta build up fast before the tower crumbles beneath you. That's not really how crumbling works, but that's how it works in this game.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
I just don't know what the mechanics of the tower
die, or...
Yes, and then if you lose, you have to start over from the beginning of level 1.
Wait, so why did Zenik die there?
Because the tower crumbled up to where he was.
So there's like a limit to like...
So, and Maurice just died too. I'll point out, so Rickery just started. So you see all those little blue circles. See how the bottom one just turned red?
Yeah.
And then
I understand that part.
And the timer is going. So when that gets up to where... And the top of the blue circles is how tall your tower is. So if the red makes it to the blue, you lose.
Okay.
And
What does last 9 step mean?
that means that's how many more rows you have to go up before the level ends.
Oh. So is a brand new tower on the new level?
The timer starts over. The sky starts getting higher and higher into the sky, and eventually you're like in space.
Okay.
But it does make it's like on the next level you get a new, you're in the same tower, like lore-wise, but yeah, you do get a new start. So like if you're about to die and you finish the level, you're not about to die on the next level.
Gotcha.
But so the big mechanic of the game, well, first of all, the only way to move blocks around is by standing on top of them and rolling them underneath your feet. And you will do that just by holding down one button. So there's no, the only controls are moving left and right and then holding one button down. If you're holding the button, a match doesn't happen. So you need to let go of the button and stop rolling the block for a match to happen. You can't just roll them haphazardly and hope that you end up making an accidental match.
So, what do the spinny icons mean?
That means that that block can only rotate in the direction that the icon is spinning.
Oh.
So they're just kind of like hazards. But the big thing are chains. So you make chains just by making matches quickly. And then if you see blocks like randomly growing, that's a bonus for making a chain. So you can make a chain. My highest is 10.
Wow.
You have to get a pretty good layout for that and just be able to just keep doing it. But you can generally consistently get 4 if you're paying attention. You start to just naturally see how far away, like how many times you have to roll a block and whether or not it'll match up with one that's way far away from it or something. So that's what the players are gonna get more experienced in, is just kind of seeing the symmetry of things. And then also, you can roll a block up one height. And if you roll it up and then back down,
right, that
then
changed the parity.
Yeah, it's rotated 90 degrees. So you can do that to manually set a block, but it's slow to do that. So you really want to like avoid doing that if you can. Sometimes you're like, okay, I see that there's like a 4 combo coming out of this, so I'm gonna take the time to rotate this block 5 times. But generally, you got to keep moving because the tower's crumbling.
Right. Okay.
And so, yeah, let me think. There is a. I'll post it in the chat on this. I forget how to set the paste spin command, but because I tried to and it didn't work, so I must have typed something. On the leaderboard page, the instructions are built into that.
Let's see if I remember how to set the paste spin command. Oh, do you actually need the exclamation word? Wait. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, edit comm. I wrote edit command. So, that was my mistake.
And so the players are just submitting their scores as they go?
Yes, so it's in the rules of Myscorey that the score needs to be submitted as soon as it's finalized. Because I just thought that would make it a more interesting watch if the players were regularly submitting scores instead of just like hoarding them or writing them down and waiting. So, as soon as they lose, they submit a score if it's higher than their previous score. Maurice is on a good run here. His score is higher than what he has on the leaderboard, so once he dies...
he doesn't seem close to dying either.
No, this is looking really good, and I think this is level 1. This is a high score for level 1, though. There's also at the end of a level a time bonus, which sometimes gives 0 if you're too slow. There's no timer on screen, so I don't really know how that's calculated. And there's also a step bonus, which if you look in the bottom left, it says like 78 out of 300 on Rickery. If you happen to finish the level and only make that many rotations of blocks, then you get a bonus. That's like a either or. You either get the bonus or you don't. That's nothing that you need to. It's
like how big
I
of
think
a
it's
bar are
like
we talking?
I think it's like 5,000.
Oh wow. I mean, is that going to be a lot of points in the context of like the scores we're expecting to see by the end?
It's hard to say. I don't know how good they're gonna get. This is a game. Some of the other games I have already picked out for this, I like thought about them for this and already picked it. This is one that I already play a lot and just thought it would be a good first one to do because I was familiar with it. So I don't know how good players are gonna get. I've played this game probably like, I don't know, 10, 15 hours total, and I don't consistently win. Like, getting to level 8 is not common for me. It gets a lot harder. Level 1 and 2 backgrounds are pretty similar, but you see Maurice has all these birds now.
Yeah.
That's what level 2 looks like. And then level 3, you're like, it's dark and you're like kind of partly in space. Or no, level 3 is like a storm. And then eventually you make it to space, and then there's like meteors going around. So the levels look different, but they play exactly the same way.
Right.
One really cool thing about this game is if you like make a 10 chain right at the end of the level or something, it doesn't stop. Like the bonus, when you start the next level, you'll have those bonus rows, which is cool.
Oh wow. That's really powerful.
Yeah, so you never want to think, oh, well, the level's about to end, I don't need to bother with a chain or something, because it does count.
That is really nice.
Yeah, I don't know of too many other games that do that. Like I was saying earlier, this is a really good. This game is only like $5, like price charting or something. I found it at the store the other day, which made me happy. I had already played it, so now I have a copy. I looked at the manual and there's very little information in it, so there wasn't a lot to glean from that.
Oh, I kind of just assumed this was like a Japan-only release.
No, this is actually it's a U.S. I think it's a Japan-developed game. Age Tech is the company that comes up. I've never heard of them for anything else.
I certainly haven't either.
But
it just feels like a Japan-only game. I don't know. I feel like anytime there's a puzzle game like this, it's like, oh yeah, there's no way this came out in the States, you know?
No, it does for sure. PlayStation had a lot of just weird stuff. I feel like way more got localized on PlayStation than on a lot of other consoles. I guess there's a lot of RPGs that didn't.
I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, there certainly are a lot, but I mean, relative to other consoles, I would imagine it's like pretty similar.
Yeah. I don't know. PlayStation has it's just like, I feel like I know games pretty well at this point. Like, there's little that I see where I'm like, oh, I have no context for that. Mm-hmm. But like, PlayStation can totally surprise me with things because it's just like, stuff can come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of great PlayStation games. You got Power Shovel.
Oh yeah. Power Shovel might be
either.
a good one for it. It ends your thing too quick. That could be a good one for this though. I have to think about whether or not we can make Power Shovel happen.
I vote for it.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to name PlayStation games. Like that's the only one I can think of. So.
There's Eggs of Steel.
I don't know what's wrong with me. So it's this PlayStation. I'm just like, oh yeah, Power Shovel.
Yeah. Bright Shadow, if you really want to, and you're interested, you can just start now. There's not really any disadvantage to start. I mean, there's just,
the advantage is you won't have the time to learn how to
the
play
disadvantage
the game,
is you don't have the time, but like, there's not any rule against it, and I couldn't think of any reason to make a rule against it. So if anyone's watching and wants to try their hand and thinks that they'd be way better than all these chumps on screen, feel free. It's true, yeah. A lot of people have some good experience with Power Shovel, and this game, like Zenek,
experience with Power Shovel.
Zenek had played it before, but like not really. In a format like this, if you just like have played the game for Mystery Tournament or something, it's really not going to be that helpful.
I think everyone's a little too redraw happy when it comes to mystery stuff. Like, I think a lot of people around here have played so many games. Ooh, then it got the step bonus. It was only 1,200 though.
Okay, so it's not that high. And I don't know if it's higher if you're further under. I think it's not. But 1,200's pretty massive with where they're at right now.
Oh yeah. And so Maurice is in the lead right now, but you know, let's see how this run goes for Zenek.
So before I swap people out, I don't think you've seen this yet. I'll show you that we have stats.
Oh, I saw that on the page.
Oh yeah. So, if we look at where we're at right now, okay, so who is this? Let me see. I can interact with this page and highlight.
Why is someone in the negatives?
I have no idea. You are allowed to submit a negative score.
Wait, but this person's been going up and down, positive to negative. What's happening?
Maybe they're just clowning. Is it? Who is it?
Nietzsche?
Oh.
Wait, but there's a negative for St. Joe as well.
Interesting.
I'll have to ask Maurice about that afterwards.
I know. Negative 360. I think maybe they're just accidentally typing it. So...
How do you accidentally type negative 360?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'll ask Maurice about it. We'll figure that. We'll get to the bottom of that. So right now see we have Maurice at the top. Zanuck has stayed pretty much consistently above a lot of people. We have who's in gray here?
Zanuck's ahead of that score right now. So.
Oh wow. So we have Rickery here, who is doing pretty good. Has not submitted another score yet. But we have Nietzsche has moved ahead. So I'm gonna move them onto stream.
Well, over whom? Over Rickery?
Over Rickery, yes.
Yeah, look at Zanuck's score right now. What does he sell? That's an L.
And still looking pretty good.
Oh, well, Zanuck's in the lead.
So, I heard someone say one time on, like, YouTube or something that, if the tower is less even, it'll fall faster. But that's not in the manual, and I didn't put that in the paste bin. I couldn't really find any evidence for that.
No, I mean, it looks like the circles are just determined by where your lowest point is.
They are. So a blue circle won't fill in unless that entire row has blocks.
Yeah. So I imagine that's all they meant by that. It's just that.
Yeah.
If you keep it even, then you'll make more height. Your lowest point will be higher, and the tower will not take as long to fall.
And when you get the bonus rows from the chains, I think that they might be a little bit more effective if your tower is more even. Like, because of how it grows, it might, like, grow up to a certain level, so you get more blocks if your tower's more even. I don't fully understand how the bonus rows from making chains work.
I haven't really seen anything to suggest that to be the case.
I just know sometimes you only get, like, half a row. This Neat Cell is someone who's new, so I have to see what their Twitch name is. Yeah. It's just...
Neat Cell.
It's just that. Awesome, I love seeing new people around here.
Their stream title says Tall Infinity NES.
Good for them. A Tall Infinity demake on the NES sounds like a just horrible idea. but I would be a little
very
interested.
Fun. I mean, we all like horrible ideas around here, so you know. Wait, there was an earlier rule about subtracting out your old score?
There was.
Is that why they're submitting negative scores?
Maybe. I did change that.
Why did you make such a confusing rule?
Because the old website we were using, Maurice made this website in the last week, and he did an excellent job. The old website, you could only add or subtract numbers from your score. That was just a free website I found. You could not replace your current score. So that's why you had to do it.
Wait, but why would you ever subtract? Your high score isn't going to go down.
So you didn't have to do the math. Like you could have just fully subtracted what you had and then added just what. So I specified that there were two options. Although the Maurice is in the chat with the people, like if anyone asks about that, he would know that you don't have to. But yeah, Maurice made this chart and the website, and it uses WebSockets. It's very good.
Oh yeah, that's what they're doing. They are subtracting out their old score.
Yeah. So I put that in the chat.
Okay.
One other thing is that if you make
All right, we're in the storm.
Oh yeah, Zenek is on stage 3. This is where I feel like the game starts to get somewhat challenging. I wouldn't usually lose on stage 3 at this point, but like especially like 4, I don't know, it does start to get harder. I can't exactly place what gets harder because the game moves so fast, but I think the clock moves faster.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is that the longer that you're on a stage, the faster the clock moves. Zenek has another combo there. Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty good.
Dang, those chains are worth quite a lot of points.
Yes. And also, they make it grow faster. Really, chains are just like...
They are the game.
Yeah, they are the game, basically. Because you're gonna die if you don't make them, and you're gonna get less points if you don't make them.
You know what the chain mechanic reminds me of in a lot of ways, actually, is Devil Dice.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot about this game, not just the fact that there's rotating squares, but...
Well, this also has a puzzle mode similar to Devil Dice, where you have a limited number of moves to, a lot of games have that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like the chains in that game are similar, where you just have to like continually make matches and like the puzzles that have you get off the dice and like hit things with the chain timer.
Yeah, like, so you can actually match multiple sides of a cube at the same time in this game, and it just grows a whole bunch of blocks, but I don't think there's any like point bonus for it. So it's really, they want you to do the chains. So you could do other interesting things, but it's all about the chains.
I wonder how like strong that mechanic of like making combos rather than chains is actually. I know you said it's all about the chains, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
if you could consistently set up those like 3 matches or something, like.
Yeah, well, because it's a lot. Because when you're on multiple sides, it's definitely not matching on the top, right? Because you're always there. So it's either matching. It's always doing a sideways one, which is 4 blocks at the minimum. So if you end up matching on all 3 sides, it grows. It grows 4 blocks under. It grows, I guess, 2 on either side of you, and then 6 underneath you, because it would do 2 from each of those ones, and then 2 from the vertical match. So I mean, that's a lot of blocks, but then you end up really uneven, so you have to like manage that. You have to spend time to kind of even things out.
But I'd be curious about the score.
Yeah, I would be too. I would have put the scoring, like the actual numbers, in the paste bin if that were in the manual, but it's not.
Right. Yeah, I guess my thought on that is just like I obviously like my main experience with puzzle games with like Pokemon Puzzle League and the type, where chains are really important, but like combos are underrated.
There it is, a ring bonus. Okay, how many points is the ring bonus?
Wait, what's a ring bonus?
Yeah, not a lot at all. It's probably not worth it. So a ring bonus, I was gonna explain this earlier, but we actually saw one on stream, is where you have a totally flat ring. Because the game wouldn't be able to continue under normal circumstances. So the game has a built-in thing where it says ring bonus, and then it gives you some bonus blocks.
Oh, but it sucks.
And I think some score. Well, it's just really difficult to manufacture. It's nothing to try and make happen. Sometimes it'll happen, but like, I wouldn't focus on it.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like clearing the board in some Tetris games will give you like bonus points, but it's like so dumb.
Yeah, you would more or rather just want Tetris. So yeah, Maurice is doing a lot of manipulation of this block right here. I can't wait for Zenek to submit the score that he has now, because it's gonna blow everybody's mind. Because if you look at the chart currently, it's also been, I think, a while.
Like, oh, hey, Roar's in second place.
Yeah, Roar's been moving back and forth. They started on stream. There's another ring bonus from But see, it hasn't. If you look at where Neat Cell's level progress
He's
is,
got to die.
yeah.
I don't think, unless they get a real nice chain real quickly.
4 ring bonuses. Yeah, that's the thing. Ring bonuses just aren't worth it. How long is the timer? 2 hours. It is.
Yeah, this is stage 4 for Zenik.
Oh yeah. This is. I wasn't expecting anyone to make it past stage 4. I would like to see it.
I mean, the way Zenik's going right now,
Yeah. I think 5 is when we start to see, like, its space.
I mean, it's not surprising that Zenik would be good at this. This is definitely in Zenik's wheelhouse.
He said before, because he said he tested this for MT and submitted the puzzle mode, and then said he didn't care for this mode. But regardless, he's doing quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I just know Zenik has played through a lot of puzzle games on stream and stuff. Like a lot of those, those puzzle games where you play the first like 10 out of like 200 levels in Mystery Tournament.
Right.
Zenik has played through many of those, all 200 levels on stream.
Yeah, something about... Oh yeah, so there Zenik made a massive match. I don't know if you saw that, and just like stuff just like, kept growing over and over. One interesting thing about this
killing
game...
it right now.
Yeah. One interesting thing about this game, which is quite different than other puzzle games, is that
look at how much blue he has.
If a match just... Yeah, this is really high for level 4. If a match just like happens off screen, it doesn't count. You have to manipulate it to make it count. So if blocks spawn and they're already matched, you have to move it on and off to make that match happen. So you really can't... Nothing really happens accidentally in this game, compared to, like, I don't know, Puyo or Candy Crush or something.
Candy Crush.
Yeah, that's next week. Everyone get ready for Candy Crush. But the timer's going to be 7 hours, because you have to wait half an hour every time you...
For your energy, for your stamina refill.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you get a stamina refill for like 500 channel points or something.
I'm gonna poll how people feel about 2 hours, though. I don't want to do 1 hour, but I would do 90 minutes if people think 2 hours is excessive. We'll have to see.
I mean, this seems like a pretty good length. Like, I think that really they're just now starting to like get the hang of the game. Like, looking at Zenik's progress, for example. Like,
yeah.
Zenik's doing really well right now, but their next run's gonna be better.
Exactly. And there is some RNG in this, but that's another reason that a 2 hour time length I think works, because there's enough opportunity in this that I don't feel like this is decided in any way by RNG. Nice. And so Zenik finished that level just by dropping the block.
Oh wow, that step bonus is pretty hefty now.
What was it? I missed it.
3,600.
Oh yeah, that is hefty. So maybe it does relate to how many steps you are underneath the bonus.
Or it might just be scaling up with the level. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
That getting the step bonus on level 1 versus level 2 versus level 3. But just for the end of level bonuses, Zenik just shot up 7,000 points, which is higher than almost every score on the board right now.
Time bonus is really good.
Yeah,
and you start to where you start to where the early levels, you just always get a time bonus, because the early levels don't have very strict timings. You pretty much just make stuff happen, and the tower's nowhere near you. Maybe that's the way the time bonus calculates, is how close the tower is to you. That would make sense, because there's no timer on screen.
Yeah, so there's just it keeps track of your time, but doesn't actually like...
Right. Which is another reason why I think that the tower doesn't crumble at different rates depending on... Okay, so that's a really good strategy. That's something that that you start to pick up on. Zenik just did it. Is where if you end up where you just had a bunch of combos and they were all right next to each other, so you're just like really tall, just drop a square off the side, because it can match even if you're not falling with it. So, because you were the one who dropped it...
Wow,
so
Zenek is very tall.
Yeah, so you may just not know what's down there, but it's worth trying. Yeah, that was an awesome combo chain right there. This is sweet. I wonder if anyone's gonna be able to catch up to this. We're just about halfway through now.
We're witnessing the winning run like right now.
I would love to see
unless everyone else
finish.
suddenly gets a whole lot better at this game real fast, I don't see anyone touching this.
I mean, we don't know where some of these off-screen people are right now. But...
That is true. Like, it could be the case that, you know, like, Spritz is at, like, 40,000 right now, and we just don't see it. But I do think that is somewhat unlikely.
I know, Zenek could beat my score. My high score is, like, 68, 70,000 or something. But I feel like it might have been higher than that the one time I beat it. I forget. But, the top score on the leaderboard is 100,000.
Oh, on the game
the in-game leaderboard, yeah.
Okay.
The scores on the leaderboard are weird because it also like shows visually what level they were on when they lost, and some of them are like on a pretty low level with a really high score. So there's obviously some optimization you can do just for your score that's not about survivability that I haven't clued into.
Huh.
Or they're just fake scores that couldn't be possible.
I mean, that's also certainly
yeah.
Not an unlikely option. But yeah, I mean, Zenek's gonna clear this stage for sure at this point.
Zenek is going for most of the matches that I see. So I think that he's just starting to get it. Where he's cluing into this game. I think another thing that's harder in later levels is more of these arrow blocks will spawn. Which, like, usually are just a huge pain in the ass and just, like, can't do anything with it. Especially if you get two next to each other rotating the opposite direction. Because then it's like, well, these are stuck. Because you can't roll... you can't roll a block starting from right next to the wall. You have to be one away.
I've seen that. That's really interesting.
I think it makes sense for a couple reasons, because when you roll it, the back end has to swing out.
Step bonus. Just missed the step bonus. 307 out of 300.
Wow, level 6 though. This is strong. When you roll it, the back end has to swing out. And if you could roll a block when it was right next to a wall, you could just roll a block up from a flat row.
Right.
It would totally change the flow.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it makes sense the way it is. Is that like a nebula we're coming up on or something? Like...
Oh, that one guy can't get this around in his hug.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, it could just be a firmware thing. Maybe it hasn't done PlayStation games. Oh yeah, launching with the bin and not the Q. That got me the first time I did BizHawk, because a lot of ones launch with the bin, even though the Q does make more sense with the actual what the file means. Alright, well, I'm tempted to swap some people around, but I won't take Zenek off. Because even though technically they're at a different... I am gonna swap in Roar for Neat Cell, though.
Yeah, it's just because Neat Cell just lost.
We've had Maurice on stream the entire time, which works because I'm using his audio. So
nice. All right, Zenek's not doing too hot on this level.
It can start to feel kind of defeating as you move on, because if you don't get a good start on some of these levels, the timing is so tight that it's just like you're done. Yeah, I think Zenek can't catch up from this. He would have to be pretty lucky.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so ready for this to be submitted.
Same.
I guess I won't hear them. They are in a chat though. I wonder if Zenek is being coy.
Zenek's definitely not saying anything. Just knowing Zenek. Not to like keep a secret or something. Zenek is the type who would say anything.
That's true.
10. What is this entry screen? This is amazing.
This is how you enter your score. It's pretty good.
See. End. It's fitting because it's the end of the run.
We've got a spy in the chat who's in Ray's chat here, so we can look at the board. Let's look at the graph right now. Let's bring that chart up.
That's a tall infinity.
That is tall infinity right there. There it is. Where's the here, move this to the top. Right there, tall infinity. That's now that's so good. Yeah, 10th place in game. I love it. Okay, Maurice only got a 530 step bonus. So it's not just scaling, because 1200 was on Zenek's first level.
Yeah, you're right. It is based on how many steps. So I guess that's really where the benefit of getting those big chains comes in, is not only do they give you some points, they don't really give you that many points in the grand scheme of things. Like, even the big, 7 chains Zenek got, I think, was only a couple hundred points.
Right.
But it contributes massively to the step bonus, because you can do it in so many fewer steps.
And indirectly to survivability.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to let you play more levels.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're making 7 chains, you're probably good enough that survivability, at least on the early levels, is not a concern whatsoever.
It's true, yeah. Especially on these early levels, you can really, with good chaining, can just plow through. I mean, so Zenek right now with the 4 chain, if you look at the blue squares, he's gonna get 2 whole rows just for a 4 chain.
I think something that's also worth noting about the mechanic, as far as what was I gonna say? I just forgot. Never mind.
You'll get it. It'll come back.
It's that I noticed a couple points at the end of levels. It seemed like people were kind of just not finishing the level when they only needed to move 1 block to the side or something.
Right.
And it seems like this system heavily discourages that because of how many points are tied to
time
finishing and time and steps.
Yes.
Because my first instinct, if I didn't know about that, would be to be all right, the way I'm going to optimize my score is I'm going to stick around as much as possible on this level to farm as many points as I can before the timer runs out.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the step bonus only applies to you actually moving blocks, but still, yeah, I agree. You want to finish a level. It's really hard to keep track of that. The 3D in Pokemon Puzzle League.
I hate that mode.
It's just for me, I just can't focus on what's happening.
It sucks.
And this game is the same way, where I'm only really looking at more what's happening around me. Although I think this might even be fewer rows. than the or fewer columns than the 3D and Pokemon Puzzle League is, because it's just
It might be. Yeah, that one's ridiculous. I hate it.
it's really bad compared to the main game.
But yeah, I definitely think that, because like I said, in a lot of score games, I don't know which ones we'll see later in this event, but it's a pretty common strategy to, you know, stick around as much as you can and sort of press points. But
Right.
you don't want to do that here because you want that time bonus. That's worth so much more if you can get a 3,000 point time bonus. You're not going to make up 3,000 points just like messing around on this level.
No, you're not. And unless you just happen to see a chain. But yeah, the next game I have planned is going to be more about routing, I think, where survivability on certain levels is not going to be much of an issue, and it's going to be more about optimizing your score on that level. Versus here, you can do that, but I think you'd have to be at a pretty high level to do that with this game.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any optimizing that anyone's doing beyond just surviving.
Oh, Cyro Hydra coming up is at 9,000 now in third.
Ooh.
Assuming that they're on a similar trajectory to Zenek, it comes 9,000 and then 40. I think that's the rule.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Roar's also going to get 40,000, so you know.
Yeah, it's true. It's about to happen. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so Roar, or Zenek, has put themselves into a strange situation here, where they were just like really tall on a single...
Well, okay, so here's, I guess, knowing what we know now about time bonuses. What if you made your stack really, really uneven to optimize your time bonus on the next level by starting with as much of a complete tower as you can?
That's interesting. I don't know what continues over. I think you're on the exact same tower when the level starts, unless you had a chain, in which case the bonuses build when you can't see them, like in the interim between the levels.
Yeah, but anyways, that's my big brain super optimized strat. I think
that's an interesting idea.
I think it would work.
There also is there's an easy mode and there's also a hard mode in this game. I think all that affects is probably the amount of time. They're playing on normal. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot for someone to stand up to Puzzle God Zenek today. Because
I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm predicting it now.
It's pretty extreme, this run. But you notice, even now on this run that Zenek is on now, on level 2 without any issues, and continuing to play well. So I think it was not a fluke. It is just that Zenek has picked up on these mechanics very well. Is using the strategy of... well, I picked normal because that's just what I'd always played.
More fun.
Yeah, I think it's more fun when you can lose. And
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. There's also score attack on the menu. I don't actually even know what that does. I didn't notice it until today when people wanted to pick it, because they assumed that was what they were supposed to pick. I just never really looked at the main menu.
So something interesting that I see Zenek doing also is Zenek will be like one move away from a match, and then we'll go set up another match in order to turn it into a chain.
Yes.
Which is really good heads-up play. That might seem like obvious from a viewer perspective. I don't think that's something most people would think of while playing a game like this.
And I think that's a big part of Zenek's success. Also, the thing I was talking about where if you see a match, because the chain timer is really short, you really only have time to just go for one thing and hope that it works out. So if you're on the top of a tower and you have a chain of 2 at that point, and you see a match to the left, and you don't need the cube that you're on, you can just drop it off to the right and hope that something happens. And
I mean, I don't even think Xenix's hoping that something happens. I think Xenix sees a match to the side and is getting it. Oh, and we got Rickery back up above 10k.
Oh, nice. And Cyrohydra at 10. And to do 9 and then 10 is a good sign. That's a sign of consistency, which is big in games like this.
And we got Adam knocking on the top 10 as well, or top 3 as well. Might be time for a changeover pretty soon.
Oh yeah. Okay, so where we're at. Oh yeah, I'll put Rickery and Cyrohydra up. Maurice is not touching this anymore.
Yeah, Maurice is falling behind. I mean, but of course, one run could change that real easily.
And Muware has dropped out of the competition because he didn't have 2 hours. But also, that's what's fun about this, is there's not really, you know...
Yeah, it's pretty informal. You can just kind of do what you want.
You can't take the whole
I like
time,
that.
then you can't take the whole time. You could there's a chance you could still win.
I mean, I think the problem, most people's problem right now is they die too often.
Yes. I think that, it's somewhat reasonable by the end of this for people to consistently make it to level 3, I think. 4 is where it starts to get harder.
It's actually kind of an awkward position right now, where they don't actually have that many colorful blocks available at all. And a lot of what they have is arrows. I think Zenix's about to die.
Maybe someone's gonna use my favorite song in the game, which is BGM 5. You can set your, you can just set the
so
song.
good. See, Zenix's about to die right here. Yeah, the timer gets a lot faster. Like, it's not even...
I'm listening.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to use Rickery's. I may not be able to use anyone's in-game audio. Because they're all in the Discord stream. They'd have to have purposefully set it up.
Oh, are all those people in?
Or not the Discord stream, the Discord, you know,
Discord voice.
chat, yeah.
Well, time to bring back Maurice.
I could just find BGM 5 and play that.
I wonder if anyone's posted the OST for Tall Infinity on YouTube.
That's a difficult question.
Oh, I found... something.
Did you find it?
I've had 2 songs from this game. One's called Landscape and one's called Solitude.
Oh yeah. Let's see if either of those are the ones that I want.
Does the song you're thinking of have, like, an accordion?
Yeah, both these are pretty good. We haven't heard them yet either.
Solitude's pretty awesome. I think you should put that one on.
Yeah, I will. I'll turn that up. Oh yeah,
I would.
this one sounds like Leighton music.
It does.
Yeah.
I clicked on the person's, like, profile to see if they had the rest of the soundtrack posted, and they just have, like, random, like, Final Fantasy 14 videos and, like, fighting game matches, and then 2 uploads of the soundtrack of Tall Infinity.
That's great. You probably can, like, find the soundtrack to download somewhere on Zofar or something. We'll grab it sometime. I actually don't like the soundtrack of this game that much, but I do like a couple of the songs.
Wait, you own the game, right?
I do.
Do you have a CD player?
Yeah, on my computer.
Can you just like plug it in and just pull it off? A lot of games will do that if you put them in a CD player.
Oh, yeah, you could
play
just like rip it. Well, let me see. So we have advertised in the front fold here. We have RC helicopter, billiards, bowling.
Oh, RC helicopter. That game's awesome.
Oh, really?
It was in Mystery Tournament once. And it was,
we have
someone got mad about it, but it looked pretty funny, so.
we have chess, and we also have Fix the Adventure. PHIX. Have you heard of that game?
Oh, I watched Chow play that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
No comment.
Yeah, that's a big deal when some girl says no comment to the.
I don't know. I didn't play it. I can't say.
That's true.
It didn't look that good, but I don't know. Maybe. Big chains from Zenic.
How to rip OST from.
I mean, if you
game.
put it in your CD drive, and are the files just sounds?
There aren't sound files.
Okay.
No, there's data, and it's just a bunch of bins.
Hmm.
It could be that the sounds just like straight aren't. I'll play landscape now. Or I'll put Solitude on repeat. How do I do it? Loop. There we go. YouTube's great.
Well, it depends how it's stored, I guess.
Oh, it's called Tall Unlimited, some places.
Hello.
Oh, interesting. Hi, Aurora. What's up?
I'm done for the now because injuries and whatnot. So, that was an interesting one. That was definitely not something I would have expected there.
What are your thoughts? Give a rundown while I see if I can find this OST to download anywhere.
It's so the most unfortunate part of the game is the way that the combo system rewards you. So if you don't keep up your combo the entire time, or the entirety of the length that you're going for the combo, if you drop it for one moment, you royally risk the blocks coming up underneath you as you're trying to set up more stuff. And the combo chaining is really short because, of course, it's supposed to be. But there's certainly an amount of that. It got to a point where basically I wasn't able, early on you have to absolutely like set up a big combo and roll with it. Kind of try to it seems like focusing on one side and focusing on those combos is the only real way to actually survive, because if you're trying to fill in the rows yourself, it's not enough time. You just don't have enough time. That timer is crazy fast. But it was an interesting one. It's a good run. I had one really good run, and then unfortunately I just could not keep it up. And Jimapun Spawn is saying there that too much of a heavy reset problem is, it's like the problem that you generate in Tony Hawk in particular there. Is like, when you're like, oh, I failed at the very start, let me just reset this run, and then you reset a billion times. But also those runs really weren't going anywhere, and I know it, so. But overall, interesting little game.
Alright, we got Nico Jazz clocking in second place with 15,000.
Oh, nice. This
Still
is
not
good.
touching Zenic's score, but...
No, but hi. Zenic also isn't really touching Zenic's score at this point.
Yeah, what was that?
It was a good run. We saw it. It
Yeah,
was
Zenic-
on stream.
Yeah, Zenic was on stage 5, I think?
6.
Or did they... 6? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very good run. We were very impressed, and I don't think anyone will touch that score for the rest of the 2 hours.
It was an incredible. It was really impressive. If you look at the chart here, Roar.
Yeah, the chart's lovely.
Where
What
we
the
have,
hell is that chart?
Where we have Zenik exploding. That's the tall infinity right there.
It was really funny too because like Zenik was like in first or something when they started the run, but over the course of the run, like Zenik was knocked down to like 5th place or something because so many other people had done entire runs in the time that Zenik was doing that one run.
It's true, yeah. My rule has been to swap people out every 15 minutes, but I didn't do it. I didn't swap Zenik out because I'm like, well, I would have to swap him out, but I gotta see how this run goes.
Well, because Zenik was ahead of all the other people, just hadn't finished the run.
Well, I just gotta say, happy that this event is happening. I'm as a Tony Hawk player, I never get the chance to really do some on-the-fly score attacking, so that's lovely. And this layout is quite interesting. I like it.
Roar really wants me to do a Tony Hawk game.
Well, I mean, you could do everyone's favorite Tony Hawk game, Razor Freestyle Scooter.
I'm
could.
just saying that's just what I'm just saying. I was built in the fires of attacking scores. Okay.
I love Razor Freestyle Scooter. I owned that when I was young. Well, I love it in a nostalgic, funny sense. It's not a good game, but it is.
It's not very good.
It is fun.
How did scooters ever become a thing? Those things are the hardest thing to ride ever.
Oh man, these kids in the Razor Freestyle, they ride it so hard that they're up in the sky and they just die when you fail a trick. They just fall off the world.
Well, GG to everybody. I gotta get rolling, but thanks for the good game.
Yeah, thanks for participating, Roar, and we'll do this again next week. Next week's game is very different from this one.
Yeah, well, don't go spoiling it too much.
I'm just saying it's very different from this one.
I would describe it as finite.
Yeah, it's called Tall Finite. That's why it's so different.
Finite.
Oh yeah.
Short Finite. You mean Alec Borden Tower and Shaft?
That's a good game.
I don't know it.
Ah, then you should play it. This is good.
Mr. Driller Endless Mode?
Hmm.
Why am I not running why am I? Oh, right, because I want to participate. I could throw a billion games your way, but
for some later weeks, I do want some guest hosts where I'm the person who doesn't know the game. So hit me up if you want to do one.
Well, I guess I'll have to figure out some games to throw your way.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got we do have more people than 12 people participating, by the way. That's just what fits well on the stream.
Alright, well, Zenik's back on stage 3, so...
This is looking good. If Zenik submitted the score now, they would be in 3rd. Oh, I guess not quite yet, but close to being. Yeah, this is very late-y. There's one... I don't think either of these ones is the one that I'm looking into. Once this ends, I'll play Landscape for a little bit. The one that I really like has like kind of an Arabian sound to it. Oh yeah, this one is like BGM 2 or something. That's the one thing I don't like. You can set the BGM, but by default, it's just on BGM 1, and it'll play that song every level. So, it's kind of weird. There is a random where it'll pick from the different songs. It's kind of a weird way to do music in your game.
It's very Tetris, you know?
Yeah, it is, it is. What I do have, though, is the back of the box. And it says, with everything falling down all around you, wouldn't it be nice to build something up? To build up something good for a change? The game of Tall, that's all caps, is a non-stop pilot high, right up to the sky kind of game that is both challenging and refreshing. This action puzzle game allows you to build impossibly tall towers of stone by matching colored block pieces together in a race against the clock. Can you break the all-time high score?
And refreshing?
Challenging and refreshing. Yeah.
A cocktail with an essence of both challenge and refreshment.
A cocktail with an essence of challenge and fresh. Just because you like Tall does not mean you should not like Infinity. Special combo moves and chain reactions. I don't know if I would agree with that. There are no combo moves. It's the same move.
No. Maybe there is. You just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, maybe. There's a quarter circle right. It's crazy.
Yeah, you like Hadouken's one of the blocks out or something. I buy it.
Fun, gripping entertainment for the whole family.
Gripping?
Gripping.
That's such a weird adjective.
I know it is. The concept reinforces the positive elements of building and puzzle solving to create all new challenges in each level. Again, would not agree with that. The challenge is the same.
Elements of building?
The challenge is the same in every level. Yeah, it's the positive elements.
To like recruit people into the construction industry or something. Like,
yeah, this is propaganda game. They can change characters as well.
Interested in building.
No one has unlocked any of the characters, but by default you start out with a man and a woman, and then there's also a little worm that you unlock. Earlier, Jal asked what the cutest character was, and I said, well, I know which one you would think was the cutest character. There is a worm in the game. And
really?
Yes. But it makes an annoying squeaky sound when it moves around, so I never pick it. You unlock that for beating the game once, and then there are other unlockable characters. I don't know how you unlock them. They don't do anything different, though. They just sound a little different, and they look different. Yeah, there's not really anything in the manual that... We've analyzed this game more than the manual has. Oh! No, we do have numbers. It was buried. Formula for basic scoring. The number of increased blocks times 10 times the number of chains made equals basic score points.
What?
So that would mean just a normal combo. Like if you just make one vertical match, that would be worth 20 points. Because 2 times 10. If you make 3 vertical matches in a 3 chain, then that would be worth 180 points. So chains really are important for scoring here. Because they're multiplicative. The borderline moves down by 1 level for every 2 chains completed. So the chain bonus is half a row. To say that the borderline moves down is kind of weird, though. That's not really what happens. Your tower moves up.
Does that also happen? Are you sure that doesn't happen?
I guess not. Let's... I mean, I'll... Rickery has some red. So next time they make a chain... Well, I should swap people out, though. Maurice and Nico Jazz are neck and neck.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's real close.
Oh no, I don't want to swap on Danik. Danik ain't leaving. Nico Jazz is just Nico Jazz, right?
Yep.
Alright, we've got Maurice's audio back. Very different layout. Okay. Here we go. Doing it live. Let's take a look at the chart here. Yeah, so this... Who is this that's moved up here? We have... Maurice has moved up just above Nico Jazz recently. That was about 7 minutes ago. No one is even... I mean, if you look at this chart, we still very much have a tall infinity right in the middle here.
Yeah.
But, who knows? By half an hour, what could happen? Yeah, this is the default song, which is, I don't know, maybe one of my least favorite in That's unfortunate. Alright, Nico Jazz has some good technique starting out on this one. It seems to be taking care to keep the tower even. Yeah, wow. Maurice has a good thing going here. I think that the players are starting to pick up more on the sort of nuances and how to keep chains going, but not like Zenik has. Whenever I look over at Zenik's stream, it is... You can tell, it's just moving faster in general. Got fast brain, big brain strats. Oh, that was an unfortunate miss as soon as I said that on Zenik's stream. Always fun. Yeah, 2 chains. Yeah, it's I would say that this game starts out like it starts out where it seems like impossible, and then you're like, okay, I get this. I'm decent now. But then you just plateau. It's hard to get, like, it's hard to go from decent to good. I have not yet done it. Yeah, so like what Nico Jazz did there, it's easy to get tunnel vision, and you'll see this sometimes from the players where they'll pick one color that they want to match, and in the process of getting those to line up, will skip over other colors.
Yeah.
Just because they have the idea of what they're trying to make happen in their head, and they're not stepping out of looking outside the box. Which is very reasonable. I'm not saying like it's a crazy thing to do. But in this game especially, because there's only 4 colors, usually when you manipulate something for a long time, chances are you could have come into something faster or just run into something along the way.
So when we hit the 2-hour mark, are they allowed to finish the run that they're on, or?
No. They are allowed to submit the score they have. Submissions are open until like 9:05. But
okay, so basically, with how high Zenix's score was and how long it took them to get there, I don't know if it's possible for anyone to match it at this point.
The bonuses you get in later levels are high. I think if someone is on stage 2 right now, they probably could. Or 3.
I mean, the people on stream, at least, they're all on stage 1, and they're taking about 5 minutes per stage, so.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't think it's possible for any of them to match that score.
It's so much higher than everyone else's.
Well, it's just that the run takes so long to get that high.
It's true. That's true, yeah.
So we have 20 minutes left?
Yes.
And it took it took about 20 minutes for Zenix to get that score, probably a little longer.
Yeah, it would have to be something special to get back for anyone to get back up there.
Let's see, what was Zenix's time? I'm gonna check the VOD. During that crazy run.
Like, I do think the game allows you to get that high of a score in that amount of time, but I think at this skill level, no.
Okay, it looks like Zenix died at about the 25-minute mark. So like I said, I don't...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's possible if they played perfectly. But Zenix also had like a couple of like 7 chains and stuff that really sped them up.
Yeah, those were really good runs. Like I said, the highest I've ever gotten is a 10, and that was one time. I can usually get a 7 or 8 one time in a run.
What is Zenix Tower right now? What is
That's
happening?
another weird thing. You can like match, and then it'll like kind of start to grow underneath where you are, but like won't extend right away. There's some weird subtleties to when you're like matching on other matches. The way it grows is weird.
Well, yeah, like I said, I feel like if I were in Zenix's position, where Zenix almost done with this level, but has those 2 really tall branches, I would absolutely leave those, and I would even try to grow them. To be able to start the next stage with a bunch of tower, so that I could really rack up the time and step bonuses on the next level. Because this level, I mean, I guess Zenix does still have the step bonus, so maybe that's poor thinking.
Well, also... Oh, and a pretty big step bonus, too.
I think Zenix is thinking the same thing I am, though. Zenix still building up this. Like, Zenix not even trying to finish the level. I don't know.
I would say your bonuses from chains are less effective because they affect whole rows. So, it's not number of cubes. So if you leave the whole rows unbuilt up way at the bottom, then if you get a chain, you're going to have a bunch of area of the stage that it's not growing. I don't know if that's really... I mean, mathematically it's less efficient. I don't know if practically it's actually less efficient. Okay, looks like Zenix is willing to end it now. There it is.
Yeah. But look at how much tower Zenix starting that.
Yeah, that is a crazy build-up, though. Man,
So
at 830, if they had gotten the step bonus, that might have been worth just going for that step bonus. It would have been really
Yeah.
high. It was at like 220.
But they don't know the mechanics of that, so it's
No.
not like... It's really easy to say that from our perspective, because you've
Yeah.
been sort of studying, looking at multiple people to try to determine exactly how the points are allotted.
It's true.
Whereas if you've only gotten the step bonus like 2 or 3 times, you might assume like, oh, it's just higher stages, higher step bonus, or something like that. Like, that was my initial thought, and because
It's true.
most players have probably only seen the step bonus like once. I mean, Zenix's seen it a couple times, so might be able to draw that conclusion, but...
Right, Shadow, the most disappointing
right
thing
out of the
about this
gate, there's a
game...
5 chain.
Oh, it could have been a
no,
6.
that could've-
Could have been a 6.
That could have
I
been,
know.
yeah.
And that would have grown 2 rows. Most likely that could have turned into higher. It's very easy to make a permanent mistake in this game, though, that you just can't. Like right there, Zenek could have rolled the red 2 to the right earlier and not had to rotate it 2 more times. But when you get focused on it, it's hard to see stuff on the sides. Oh, but Bright Shadow, I was going to say, the most disappointing thing about this game is that stage 1 and 2 look almost the same. So when you beat 1, you think, oh, all the stages look exactly the same. But really they don't. It's just that 1 and 2 are the most similar looking ones. Yeah, this is some good play from Zenek here. The tower is not even in the same country.
Whoa, 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 look at that scoreboard.
Oh! Neat Cell has moved up to 23k.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop them up here.
Oh, Zenek. Oh, yeah, that's probably fair. They stopped playing because
Oh,
in 12 minutes they can't get back there.
oh, that's fair. I'll put up who now? I guess back to Nico Jazz. Then I don't have to change the text.
Nice.
Nice job, Neat Cell. I haven't seen you around here before, but and am I pronouncing your name correctly also?
Yeah, unfortunately, Zenek could reach their score, but I don't... It won't be easy. I don't
Maurice
know.
is on stage 3.
Yeah.
It has 14k.
And
I
Nico
could
Jazz is
see-
also on stage 3 with 14k.
Oh, wow. Okay, I could see either of them perhaps making it. It would really
It's asking a
have
lot.
to be strong. It is asking a lot. I agree with that sentiment. Good, I'm glad you had fun, Adam. You got up to 12k, it's pretty
Wow.
good.
Whoa, whoa, look at Zenek. Zenek's at the beginning of stage 3 with 20,000.
That's what chains do for you. I mean, it's crazy. That's crazy.
I missed it. What was their, like, time and step bonus last level?
I didn't see it.
Hold on, let me
I-
check.
Maybe that's why the high scores on the board are so much lower of a level.
Oh, yeah, okay. At the end of last level, Zenek got 3,600 time bonus, 3,700 step bonus.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot.
That's ridiculous.
See, Maurice gave up a 3 chain by... Yeah, it's rough. This is a hard game to watch, too. Because you're like, no, move it the other way! Because you see where the chains are. But when you're playing it, it's like, you have to focus on what you're doing. You only see a little small part of the screen.
For sure. It's the same way even watching like a Tetris Attack or something like that. You can always
Yeah.
see like, oh, there's all these matches, but when you're playing the game, it's so, that game in particular is so input intensive that like you have to just focus on moving your fingers and not just seeing chains. Alright, this is looking good for Zenek here. There's a 5 chain.
Yeah, nice. Neat cell stage 5. Zenek's best run, that really good run, that died on stage 6.
Yeah.
But not that far into stage 6. Stage 6 didn't go well for Zenek.
Yeah, Zenek's just like mastered. Look at okay, no, it definitely is taking away rows with chains. Because look, Zenek has no red rows at all.
Nico Jazz is... Zenek could beat his own score.
Yeah, I actually think...
I would like to see it.
Look, that's just the 5 chain.
Maurice, I think, is done.
Maurice is about to die.
I mean, he just filled in the row, but it's...
Yeah, it's just going too fast at this point.
You gotta find something, some sort of a combo or something, and it's just not... Oh, this is doing the ring bonus. That's one way to do it.
Not quite. Close one.
Yeah. Yeah, other Chad is small now.
The thing too about Zenek's current run is Zenek is set up to get a fat step and time bonus. Yep, there one just ticked away on Zenek's. Look, Zenek's back down to 1. So that's how you survive in this game.
Yep.
All right, Zenek just needs to close off this row and cash in that time and step bonus.
Which makes a 1 combo, or a 2 chain, I guess.
All right, let's see it. Let's see those bonuses.
There it is.
Yeah, look at that.
There it is. And this is just stage 4.
33,000 at the start of stage 4?
Yeah, this is good.
That's crazy.
I want Zenek to beat my high score, and I've put someone who's like barely played this, I've put hours into it. Maybe with all this new analysis, I'll be like really good now. It's all about the mind game. I guess we don't have audio anymore because Maurice is not playing anymore. I'll go to
Yeah, and so Maurice will probably end up taking 4th. Given that Nico Jazz is at 20,000. It's really, I think what we're watching for right now is, will Zenek beat their score? And will Nico Jazz take 2nd?
I think Nico can take 2nd.
Oh, Nico definitely can't. But will Nico take 2nd?
Another
So
thing that's not very good about having a flat field, and you might have been about to say the same thing, is that you don't have as much to work with.
You have nothing to work with. But what I was going to ask is, what do they actually have to do to trigger the match? Because you mentioned they have to actually move stuff, but sometimes if they like roll through it, it doesn't count. Is there a certain amount of time it has to stop for?
You can't be holding the button.
Okay.
You have to let go of the roll button for any match to trigger. So you could roll through every single match and continue to hold down the button, and you would never make any matches.
All right.
So you have to sort of choose to match.
There's another 5 chain coming from Zenek.
It's good. Yeah, I like how this format has turned out. I do it every day. But once a week seems fine to me. Oh.
Why did that one not count?
Because it was just barely in the process of growing still. You can't match it when it's like still growing. It would have counted if it had finished growing.
That's... Oh, Nico Jazz has died. What was their score?
What's the score? 11th.
I don't think
I don't know
they
if that's-
got the second place.
I don't know if they did. I don't think they did. 3,000's a lot without end of level bonuses.
Yeah, I said I wasn't. I mean, it's looking like if Zenik can finish this level, then
Nope.
Zenik will pass their score. Yeah, 20,680. Takes third. I wonder if anyone else is still on a run right now. Who's still even trying?
I'm not sure. I can see if that one guy is. They started late.
Right. And there's a 4 chain for Zenik. There's 3,000, 41,580.
So we've got Zenik beating their own score.
Pretty substantially at that, because they, I mean, I don't know.
It depends if they have an easy time. This is stage 5, or is this
five,
stage
yeah,
4?
four.
No, this is 5. Yeah.
5. This is 5. I mean, Zenik has beaten this stage before.
It's true. This also goes to prove that this really hasn't been very determined by RNG. I mean, there absolutely is an RNG element to this game, but
Barely.
the opportunities are many. Yeah.
I think that's something that a lot of people who don't play these types of games sort of like take for granted, is that people tend to assume that these games are very RNG heavy. When, I mean, obviously RNG has an impact, of course. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to pretend otherwise, but so much of that impact can be mitigated by just like skillful play. And
Well, for sure. Like, if you watch the classic Tetris championships,
yeah,
like in NES Tetris especially, because you can get a line piece drought for as long as the game wants it to be. So there is RNG, and you can certain situations like that, but it's not like they play on the same seed, and they still very much consider it a fair competition, just because it's like it's really about what you do with the pieces, not what pieces come. Especially
also,
when you're trying for 2 hours.
I think also with the format, yeah, the 2 hours, I was going to say with this format, like, yeah, you might have one run that gets bad RNG and you just, like, nothing lines up and that sucks. Just do another run.
Especially with the way this game works with, where you have to manually basically choose all of the matches that you get because you have to let go of the button. You're not... I don't think good RNG is going to make a good run, because you still have to visualize your line and take it.
Well, yeah, they do use the same seed now, I think. Like, both players get the same seed. In the,
do they?
in the 1v1 matches, at least.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But obviously for, like, the format where they just play for a while, whoever gets the higher score, they don't use the same seed for that.
It's true, yeah, but like Maurice is saying, the stacks are crazy different just because
Yeah.
it's really about what you do with them.
I mean, and that's true of this game as well. Like, I think that one thing that's really helping Zenik is actually, I think Zenik has figured out how to stack, which means something very different than from what it would in Tetris. But Zenik has figured out the value of keeping their stack really uneven,
Yeah.
and that it makes it very easy to adapt to whatever the RNG gives you when you have so many options. Whereas we saw some players building very flat stacks, and then you don't get the piece you need, and you have like 2 possible things to move, and you're gonna have to go
Right.
like roll around the entire board just to make one match.
It's true. Yeah, if you have this sort of craggy tower, then chances are you have a lot of side exposed colors, which is really good because it means you can actually move a piece. Once a piece is down in a full row, or even in a row with like 1 or 2 missing, it's pretty much you can't get it out. It would have to be a piece on the end.
Versus... flat is terrible.
Yeah.
Lennox got to die.
We have some dispute in the comments. Oh man, we're close.
Yeah, Zenek's gonna die. I mean, which doesn't matter because they have 45 seconds left anyways, but the end of the run. Well, Zenek does have this chain. Looks like it did push the stack down. It's possible. I think Zenek's dead though.
They have way too many arrow blocks right now, and it's mostly flat.
Yeah. Stack 2 flat.
What a perfect time to die.
Yeah, with 20 seconds to spare. Wow.
We'll go by my stream timer, even though it's like I just started a little late. Doesn't really matter. Oh, there's an onk? You can make your name have an onk in it? I've never really looked at the symbols on the end because it takes so long to roll over there.
Was that an onk or was it like?
It might have been a female symbol.
Yeah, it was. They have the male and female symbols, for sure.
Yeah, it is a silly name entry. Okay, so our final chart. I'll wait for anyone who's still playing to kind of submit their last little bit here, but I think most people are done playing. Let's take a look at this chart. Let's analyze it. So we've got... If I interact with the chart, we can see me highlighting things. Okay, so... Wow. Got that big jump up. It makes it harder to read because the scale is so shifted because of Zenek's score. I think we see a lot of people following a more or less linear trajectory, which is interesting. Zenek maybe not so much. But a lot of people are sort of growing steadily. Most people submit... Oh, the top score built into the game is 120k. I thought it was 100k.
Wow.
I don't think I could... I've never... Yeah, you probably do need to beat that to unlock one of the characters. Jeez.
Yeah, you can hide names by clicking on them.
Oh, I can. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's take everyone out and look at a couple people's. We're learning what's gonna go on here. You know,
First
I don't know.
fight Zenix to re.
Yeah, here, let's put everyone in but Zenek at first. Look at the chart like this. So we see most people submitted Roar. Well, start with Adam here. Adam submitted one blasphemous score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scores. Roar submitted 1, 2. I'm not gonna count the negative 1, 3, 4 scores.
It's not negative. It's actually just 1.
Whoops. Yep. Oh, 1. Great. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people only improved their score a few times.
Yeah,
1,
which is
2,
not surprising.
3, 4, yeah.
I mean, especially given how long runs of this take, like you see Maurice, for example, had no scores submitted between 7:45 and 8:30, but
right,
that's like 2 or 3 runs. Especially once you start getting those like scores of like 10,000 or so.
It's true. Yeah, next week is gonna be quite different. That one guy made a strong... We're just coming in the second half. Strong play. Stronger than most people if you just took their first half. Hold on. Ooh, add Zenek in and things change. I like the bouncy.
Zenek only had like 4 scores.
Well, once you submitted this at 5... Oh, well, I guess it's 5:07 for me at, you know, everyone else's time. The chance... I mean, it makes sense. We didn't think there was even going to be another submission beyond that. But Zenek's previous high score was... way back here. Was 7,080. So Zenek went from 7,000 to 39,000. Very impressive.
Then had almost an hour before the next score submission.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like this chart a lot.
Yeah, you, as far as how to do better, I think we got down to a few things. Is don't make matches until you feel like you already have a combo you can do, unless you're just in a situation where it's like, I need to make a match right now. Keep your stack really uneven so you have a lot of what amounts to a lot of really short rows, so you can fall off of a lot of edges and you have a lot to work with. And then, I don't know, those are the two big ones. I mean, obviously make chains, but you know that you're trying to do that anyway.
Also, I just want to comment, I don't know if you noticed, but Spritz's last run, pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice Spritz came, and then that was, let's go back to the chart here. That came from, yeah. Well, I'm not clicking on it anymore. It looked like you were down. We're down at like 5K. Oh wow, yeah, that was a good run. That's what I think happens in this game specifically. You end up where you're like, I can't really get past level 1 or 2 efficiently, and then it's like, okay.
Spritz
Oh really?
Even still ran out of time.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, the reason that I made that rule, and we can talk, you know, we can figure that. It's just because 2 hours seemed long enough. But
I mean, I think the other issue with not having a rule like that would be that it would incentivize people to just reset like at 8:59.
Right. And then who knows how long it goes depending on the game. It also makes it so I could never choose a game where you just built up score the whole time. Which, you know, I reserve the right to choose, so.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really think of a great example.
The game where you like couldn't lose.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably exists, like
Cookie clicker.
Yeah, cookie. Oh man! Oh, that sounds interesting.
No. It's fine.
Maybe it is good watch. I don't know. I would never do that like week 3, but you know, maybe, you know, we really start getting down in the weeds. Who knows? But or like
I would absolutely commentate Cookie Clicker. That sounds so fun.
I've played so much Cookie Clicker. Like so much.
Well, you don't actually click very much once you get past the like initial push. Like clicking is incredibly ineffective once you get to the
part
levels.
where you're not actually going to be clicking very much.